Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me back again doing a Raw review. And I must say I was disappointed in this Raw. I was. Raw hasn't been good this last month, man, and I don't know what to think. I don't know what to say. I just been very disappointed. I didn't even really want to do a Raw review because I really didn't see why. I didn't see the point of just basically saying what I've been saying the same damn time I'm on doing videos. I say the same thing over and over, and because it seems like it's the same matches almost every night, it's the same stuff almost every night, same people are always involved every night. There's nothing ever different, and it's just disappointing. But I'll get into this Raw review right now. Raw started off with Mick Foley. He said that he will be the guest general manager for tonight for Raw and for SmackDown. He announced that there will be a tag match between CM Punk and Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan and Kane. And yeah, exactly what we wanted to see, the tag match between those four guys. But Johnny Ace ended up coming out. He was going to do his farewell speech, but the crowd was too loud and wasn't giving him any respect. So he said he was going to do his farewell speech later on tonight. He also said that before he was fired from his job, he made the main event for tonight, which was him, Otunga, and Big Show versus John Cena in a handicap match. Yay! All I see out of that is, again, Raw will main event without the world champion again. I can't even remember the last time CM Punk has main evented a Raw. It's mostly been John Cena, which is complete and utter bullshit. And guess what? The tag match between CM Punk and Sheamus versus Kane and Daniel Bryan started off Raw. So how about that? We got our world champion in the first hour of Raw, and that's the last time we saw him. So the tag match began. It was alright tag match. It was going back and forth. Pretty good action between the four guys. And then all of a sudden AJ's music hits, and she comes out dressed up as Kane, looking like Harley Quinn and shit. I thought it was fantastic. She ran around the ring. She went right back up the stage, back into the locker room, and Kane went back to follow her. After that, Daniel Bryan is yelling at Kane, "Where are you going? What are you doing?" He turns around. CM Punk gives him to go to sleep. And then Sheamus hits him with the bro kick, and that's the end of that. So we didn't get any storyline development of who will be the next contender for the championship. That was not even mentioned on Raw. They were mentioning about Cena, Johnny Ace, and all that bullshit. And the world champion is so important in WWE. Bullshit. After that, we had a little backstage segment between Vicky, Ziggler, and Jack Swagger. Excuse me. Who are the better of the two? Arguing back and forth. Vicky said, "Whoever wins will get my full 100% attention." Oh, that's what we need from Vicky Guerrero. So that match began. That was the second match of the night, and it was a pretty good match. Crowd was 100% behind Ziggler. He ends up winning with his finisher. It was a pretty good match. He sold every move Swagger did. He sold his knee perfectly because he heard it last night. He heard it Sunday night in the pay-per-view against Sheamus, so he played along with it and sold it still. And Vicky Guerrero will now be, I guess, his full-time manager, and it's just him and her now, I suppose. I don't know if he's going to be turning face now soon. I don't know, but the crowd is behind Ziggler, and I'm glad that he's not going to be in that little tag team anymore, because like I've said in my many of my videos that he deserves better than this. So hopefully he's going to be jump shotted to some kind of title shot somewhere down the line. But yeah, it's just going to be him and Vicky Guerrero now. Then after that, we had our third match of the evening, which was between Santino and Alberto Del Rio, who couldn't wrestle at the pay-per-view, but could wrestle Monday night on Raw. That makes a lot of sense. That's WWE logic for you. And it was another squash match, like just like the match that they had, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was a squash match. Del Rio wins. After the match, Ricardo attacked Santino. So it looks like maybe that storyline will be continuing. Maybe they'll actually give Ricardo some respect in the ring because he can wrestle. And maybe they'll have a legit match this time and not some bogus bullshit match. Alright, after that we had the Paul Heyman reaction or answer to Triple H's challenge to Brock Lesnar. He basically said, no, we're not going to accept the challenge. He pretty much owned Triple H that whole night. The quote of the night from Paul Heyman was, stop acting, or stop playing the ass kisser, or stop playing the ass kicker that you used to be. That was excellent. Triple H said, Brock needs to accept this challenge because he doesn't want to be known as a guy scared of Triple H. Paul Heyman saying, good job. You almost had me saying yes to agree to the match, but I know your tricks of the trade. I'm not going to fall for them. He mentioned something about Stephanie. Triple H grabs him. Paul Heyman saying, you're not going to hit me, yada, yada, yada. You know better. I know your next move and stuff like that. And he ends up clocking him. What the hell did that do? That does nothing for this feud. It's going to add more fuel to the fire to why Brock Lesnar doesn't want to come back. But all I've noticed that he hasn't been on Raw in almost 2 months since Extreme Rules. And since the Raw after Extreme Rules. So I'm guessing he's going to have a lot of appearances coming up. Excuse me, since he has that deal in his contract that he can only have so many appearances. And, having Paul Heyman show up on Raw and stuff like that is giving him leeway for him not being on Raw. So when he's back on Raw, they can hit it heavy and he can be on Raw, back-to-back weeks or, whatnot. But see what happens next week. And I just hope maybe Brock will be there at San Antonio when they come here for Raw. He's not advertised that I know of. I know he's advertised a week after when they're a week away from the pay-per-view. But I'm pretty sure we'll see something going on since they're going to be here, I think, 2 weeks before SummerSlam. So that's pretty cool. After that, we had a tag match. Primetime players, Young and O'Neal versus Primo and Epico. Not really much of a tag match. They knocked Darren Young and Titus O'Neil out of the ring. Abraham was like, no, we don't want any of this. We're the #1 contenders. And they got a count out, and they lost. I guess that's how you get instant heat. I mean, I don't mind the finish because it makes sense because, they're the #1 contenders. They don't need to be fight wrestling these guys when they're already going to be wrestling for the belts. And it just sucks because we hardly ever get to see good. Raw hasn't had a tag division, and it looks like they're starting to upgrade their tag divisions now. They're starting to label tag teams now. And it sucked that on Raw we couldn't even get a tag match because the one on the pay-per-view was excellent. Then after that we had Cyndi Lauper. Yeah, Cyndi Lauper on Raw. I guess they're celebrating and I don't know if it's an anniversary or whatnot, of her and Wendy Richter at WrestleMania when she managed her and she won her first women's title. Jeez. Heath Slater ended up interrupting, saying that he's gonna lead WWE, become a singer. I don't know, some kind of bullshit. That's all. This is all bullshit. And he ends up starting to sing like Jillian Hall back in the day. He sucked. Roddy Piper came out. That was a nice showing. He came out, telling Cyndi Lauper how much he loves her, and in the past, he didn't show her much respect and whatnot. And they gave her a gold record because I guess he broke hers back in the day. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit too young to remember back then. And Heath Slater ended up getting it smashed over his head by Cyndi Lauper, and that was it. I don't even really want to talk about this because it was pointless. It didn't even need to be on Raw. Another stupid guest host, stupid bullshit. And I hope that they don't bring this shit back because they're supposed to be bringing the every week is going to be a new GM for Raw and SmackDown. I don't mind that because maybe we'll see some old wrestler, Stone Cold, Bret Hart, maybe Jonathan Coachman. That would be a nice surprise. Something like that. I swear to fucking God, we better not see that stupid anonymous GM computer thing there. Because I will be fucking extremely disappointed. And I may not even fucking watch Raw That's how extremely mad I'll be if I see that bullshit on there. Because how are they gonna bring it back and then not explain why it just fucking disappeared? But that's me ranting about WWE. After that, we had our main event of the night. It was Otunga, Big Show, and Ace versus John Cena. Big Show ends up leaving Ace. He said he has nothing to prove. He has nothing to do for Johnny Ace. He doesn't even work for WWE anymore. So he walks to the back. Later on during the match, Otunga does the same. So it's just Ace and John Cena in the ring together. John Cena ends up winning. And that's the end of Raw. Yeah, that's the end of fucking Raw. That... I don't understand why we're dealing with this bullshit, corny shit, with this John Laurinaitis and John Cena stuff. I want to see wrestling. I want to see CM Punk in a storyline. I want to see Daniel Bryan in a storyline. I want to see Dolph Ziggler in a storyline. I don't want to see John Cena constantly main eventing Raw in my pay-per-views. You know, we're already gonna see Triple H versus Brock Lesnar. That's gonna be That's gonna be the main event for SummerSlam. Guarantee you that's going to be the main event of SummerSlam. What's going to be the main event of Money in the Bank? Is it going to be the World Champion? I highly fucking doubt it. I highly doubt it. Who's going to be the main event in September for their pay-per-view? Is it going to be the World Champion? Probably not. What about in October? November? Survivor Series? December? January? Royal Rumble? WrestleMania? No, he's not. He's not gonna main event WrestleMania. He's not gonna main event Royal Rumble. He's not gonna main event Survivor Series. You know why? Because they're gonna bring back old wrestlers to main event those events. You know, I can guarantee you a possible match with Brock Lesnar on Survivor Series. Same with Royal Rumble. Possible maybe rematch with John Cena. Man, I don't know. Just don't know these days, you know. I can see why people are saying the TNA product is better right now, because they're giving wrestling on their show, and they don't have these stupid corny storylines. Other than a few, I'll give them that. You know, I'm not a fan of TNA. You know, I enjoy watching their wrestling because there's a few wrestlers on there. But I'm being serious. If you're tired of the bullshit and you're tired of watching John Cena main event Raw and the pay-per-views, go watch TNA. Go watch ROH. That's all I can say. Because it looks like John Cena will be main eventing pay-per-views for the next couple of months at least. And I'm not happy. And CM Punk, it's the first time I'm going to say this. You deserve better, man. You deserve a lot better. You know, you get the endorsements and stuff like that, the money, I can understand that. You'd earned that. But you deserve better what you're getting in WWE. You deserve main eventing. You deserve more time on TV. And you're the fucking opener of Raw, man. The fucking opener of Raw. And you're the world... They're both world champions were there. And they started off Raw. Wow. Heath Slater probably had more people watching him than CM Punk, Sheamus, Daniel Bryan, and Kane did. And they had by far the best match, and by far the best thing happened with AJ coming out dressed up like Kane. Ugh. That's my Raw review, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully next week's Raw will be better, because these Raw reviews... I'm being serious, guys, are harder and harder to do when you're just not interested in doing them. Because I'm just basically talking about the same shit. Like fucking Alberto and Del Rio and Santino wrestled 2-3 weeks ago, and then they act like this week on Raw like it never fucking happened. Like it never fucking happened. And then they do the same thing they did a couple of weeks ago. It's a squash match. I just don't know what to say. But that's my Raw review. Please comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't. And have a good one, guys.